look at the back of the bullets. They're all the original date code, 1944. Original code. And that's live ammunition there on the front. That's live ammunition.
What is going on, everybody? So we are going into a hangar that has, excuse the airplane. We're about to go in a hangar that has a very, very unique warbird in it that is still airworthy. It's the only one that's airworthy currently. It's one of 5 left that exist. And it's essentially 2 very famous airplanes put together, but it was a factory plane. And some of you will recognize it. Some of you will be like, what is this? But I'm with the owner, the builder, and the guy who flew it quite a few times, and so I had to showcase this plane because it's probably one of the most unique airplanes I've ever showcased before. So let's go get some details about it, and I'll show you probably one of the coolest warbirds to come out of the 40s, in my opinion. Very unique warbird.
From the P-51, North American Aviation developed 2 stretched Mustang fuselages joined together with a common wing and horizontal tail. The original idea was that it should escort B-29s on the long missions to Japan. The 2 pilots could share the flying and thus ease the problems of fatigue. In the event, the twin Mustang missed World War II, but saw action in Korea as a night fighter. There, one of the pilots was replaced by a radar operator.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine. I appreciate that. All right, well, this is Tom. Tom is the mastermind behind this.
I'm sorry?
You're the mastermind behind this amazing plane, getting it airworthy. So I guess my biggest question is what persuaded you to do an XP-82?
I figured it was the rarest airplane in the world, only 2 that exist in civilian hands, and only 2 others that exist in the Air Force Museum. That's it. And this is the prototype, first one to fly. So I figured, you know, we got a winner here with airplane will sell in a heartbeat. Can't give it away. But I went to Alaska. There was a fatally crashed G model, and both guys got killed. December 23rd, a terrible Christmas present for the wives. And one guy tried to get out. There's not a part on it that's the same as a Mustang. There's only 4 or 5 parts not the same as Mustang.
Only 5 parts?
Only everything. The windshields are different. The landing gear is different. Rudder, elevators, rounds, everything is different. So I went to Alaska and there was a fatally crashed G model, you know, and one guy tried to get out. Now, we landed the helicopter only on one place up there along the river that the blades wouldn't hit the wispy trees, and we flew over the crash site and dropped colored tape into the trees. All the trees were only, you know, that tall right there, it may be.
Okay.
Nothing taller, just all shrunk. But still, the blades couldn't be hitting it. So we had to walk a quarter of a mile into it through the brush, and we would follow the colored tape. And we came across one canopy that had been jettisoned. One guy tried to get out. Now, what were the chances? We could have walked in from any direction.
And you find the canopy.
Found a canopy. You know, we found a canopy. Then a friend of mine found another canopy. It's different completely than a Mustang. It's this much shorter than a Mustang.
Wow.
Different glass. There's, you know, nothing the same. So we got the fuselage, left fuselage. You see the tape over the red handle?
Yes.
About 2 feet forward of that, we got that from Walter Supply, an engine mount and some of the cowling. That's it. But nothing back here. Now we got the ailerons and the flaps and the center section flap and the elevator and rudders off the crash. The problem is it was all booster controls and not aileron. It was all, so we had to remodify everything to non-boosted controls, which was a massive job. The center section, we got the chunks of the center section that we were able to build by plans. We got the horizontal out of Alaska, which was bent completely in half. Both rudders were damaged from the impact. Same thing with the verticals were damaged from the impact. And the center section flap was broken in half.
I didn't even think of the center section.
So we were able to build that. And the center section, we had just rubble, and we're able to build it by plans. And the outboard wings were just rubble, but and they were completely different than the XP. But we're able to take it apart and sort of figure it out. Made all new parts.
Now, did you have plans, XP-82 plans of any sort?
Yeah, well, there was a guy in California that worked for North America in 1953.
Okay.
He built this airplane. He built this airplane. In 1953, the boss says, take all these plans, all this microfiche out in that 55-gallon drum and burn it. He put it in his trunk. And he got me all the plans.
Oh, and is that probably one of the last in existence? Is that probably one of the last plans in existence?
Yeah. So the hardest thing we had to find was this lens right here. That lens. And over here, we had another one, but this is the borescope level, right there.
Real.
It's a level for the borescope. When you level the airplane up and you fire all 6 guns, and you adjust the guns.
And this was one of the hardest parts.
We found that brand new at Granger in a box that had been there for 1,000 years.
Unbelievable. And is this the Allison powered variant?
No, this is Merlin.
This one's got Merlins.
This is Merlin.
Okay, so the early variants were Allison?
The 23rd and on are Allison.
Allison,
Yeah,
okay.
We had to make the wingtips from scratch. The ailerons, there's only parts of the ailerons that are original are some of the ribs. This is all new. Leading edges were all new because they were boosted ailerons, so the leading edges were all different.
And sheet metal is your expertise. I mean, you've...
I've been doing sheet metal for not too long. It's my 51st year doing sheet metal.
And you've had multiple warbirds. You've had, what, a B-17, plenty of other...
Oh, yeah. We did Corsairs. We did B-17s, the B-24. We've done all this big stuff.
And would you say that out of all those planes, was this the most difficult to bring back to life?
Yes.
Okay.
By far. You know.
And this is the only airworthy one example right now.
Yes. We matched absolutely everything on here. We even matched the errors on the prototype they made. Come on this way, I'll show you. Now, the left fuselage was the only one we had any part of. we had to scratch build the right fuselage
From scratch.
from scratch. You know, we found a bunch of parts that had been run over by a bulldozer out of Wright-Patterson, and we gathered all those up, and almost nothing was usable, but it was a pattern. You could look at it right here. This is the mistake. That was original pitot-static on the first flight. They moved it to there. So we duplicated the mistake.
And why was that a mistake?
This didn't read accurately,
From that to there made it accurate.
apparently. Right here, huh. I think my wrist, they took the fire extinguisher out, take the battery out. It's got all the guns in it.
What did this have for guns?
650s.
650s.
Has all the guns and all the ammunition in there. You know,
And I noticed that the guns they're tucked in, whereas the 51 they were staggered. These are tucked into the actual.
no, they're staggered.
They're staggered.
Yeah, no,
But-
they're like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can lift this up. I don't have a.
Does it want the panel off?
Do you want me to?
Can you get it pulled up?
You just pull it up.
There you go. Can you lift that up?
I think so.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'll tell you too.
Unreal. How much ammunition did they carry?
600 rounds per my inboard gun was 600, outboard gun was like 500. They're all stacked up, you know, underneath here, all the ammunition. That one you got to jiggle on to get it.
It's a trick.
Go ahead and, well, this one's burning.
Unbelievable. Well, yeah, and I don't want to make that a pain for you.
No, it's not. It's, just a mat. It's like a together that comes out easy.
I just gotta remember the trick.
Oh my gosh.
Gunner, lift up the top row of ammunition so he can get a picture of the look at the back of the bullets. They're all the original date code, 1944. Original code. And that's live ammunition there on the front. That's live ammunition. All the ammunition underneath it is previously shot with a head on it. But those you see the primer,
Yes.
the primer's not shot.
And what was every fourth one was a tracer? Or
That's right.
every third or fourth was a tracer?
Every fifth.
Every fifth. So theoretically, what did you have for shooting wise? 30 seconds? That's. I mean, what was your
Yeah,
time?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unbelievable. So I mean, this had a lot of air-to-air engagement in what the Korean War was, where this.
Just the E, F, and G model, like 6 or 7 of them went over there. They shot down the first 2 Russian airplanes. You know, just sprayed them full of bullets.
Wow. And this entire fuselage, you
This
essentially.
is all new built, and everything from here back. Well, really, everything is new built. It's taken apart.
Yeah.
But here, it's not an original piece.
That's. I mean, and
You see right here? See how the rivets are overshot slightly?
yes.
That's intentional. That's the way it was.
Why?
I just duplicated it. I duplicated the mistakes.
Wow. And the range of this, I mean, didn't it, the theoretical range, I mean, this I was reading about it. One almost would have made it to Greenland from Hawaii, but the tanks were too tight, right?
Yeah, tighten up the sway brackets too tight.
Those what, 5,000 miles?
From San Francisco or Los Angeles to New York was 3,000.
3,000.
And they had one drop tank left. They dropped the other three. They had 3 drop tanks left. They dropped the one accidentally. You know, the one came off, but the other 3 stayed on.
And the primary design behind this, what was their objective behind the XP-82?
Escort the B-29s from Saipan to Japan and back. See, they were escorting the B-29s with Mustangs.
Okay.
B-29 was about 30 faster than a Mustang. So the Mustang had to run 30 miles an hour faster, using up much more fuel. So if Mustangs spent any time over Japan, they'd not make it back to Saipan. So the shores, the first 50 miles off Saipan, is filled with Mustangs and dead bodies. Where guys had run out of fuel, trying to get home. So they designed this, which was 50 faster than a Mustang, you know, 40 miles faster than a Mustang, you know.
So theoretically, cruise speed on this, what would they see? 3?
Well, a Mustang would cruise at 280.
Okay.
This would cruise at over, you know, 300.
300.
It's really fast.
And, you know, the flight characteristics.
Same.
This being obviously the pilots on the left.
That engine on the right-hand side, you look at the propeller, it's a left-hand turner. Only the first 23 airplanes had left-hand turners. 24 on were Allison, and different propellers. You know, left-hand turning Allison.
Yeah.
They're counter-rotating. But that left-hand engine, those are MT propellers. But the engine, coming up the ladder and looking at the cockpit while you're at it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll grab a quick photo of that for the. That's amazing. Oh no, you're fine. I was just grabbing the.
You see that antenna wire?
Yes.
The antenna wire right there?
Yes.
It has the original yellow wrapping on it. We found it.
What is this, a 43? 44? Is this a 44? What year?
It's a 1944.
44.
But we found the antenna wire at a surplus shop.
That's amazing.
Right here, we have every original radio in the airplane. Fire extinguisher, right there. An original fire extinguisher. And we have the original wiring with the correct color code wire. Wow. See how here everything is silver color?
Yes.
Original #1 CAD plate. New CAD plate is a gold color. We have no gold in this airplane. It's original #1 CAD plate.
How did you find?
I was queer when it came to the being original.
It's unbelievable.
You have to have a new style fire bottle.
Understandable. Yeah.
We can't have. We have these taped over where people can't
Push on it.
climb up on an airplane.
Now, was this the cowl induction for the radiators?
Just a radiator.
Yep. Okay.
We had MT radiator up there, and not MT. It had can't think of his name. He made new radiators for us. It's different than a Mustang. It's a bunch bigger than a Mustang because it's a bigger engine. Now, this engine is a left-hand turner.
Okay.
There's only 40 of them built. 23 of them went into airplanes in 1950, 49, 1950 through 51 or 52. And the rest of the rest of the 22 airplanes that were Merlin powered were either crashed or scrapped. There's only 2 Merlin powered ones left, this one and the one in the Air Force Museum. So we were able to get a right-hand turner engine, which is the same as a Mustang, basically.
Okay.
Left-hand turner, you know, this is a dash. This is a higher horsepower one right here.
Okay.
Same horsepower as the 1,800 horsepower instead of 1,500 horsepower.
So these are 1,800.
This 18. Now, the right-hand engine is a left-hand turner. Couldn't find one at all anywhere. So I was then committed to buy another right-hand turner and put it on. I wanted counter-rotating. I'm queer about it. We found a guy in California.
Okay.
That had a bunch of parts for a left-hand turner.
Okay.
He wanted 200 grand for the core and another 250 grand to build the motor. It's the only one I could find. I'm on the back end of my tug writing him a $200,000 check, and the phone rings. It's Mike Nixon from Vintage V12s. He found a brand new engine in a box in Mexico City.
Mexico City.
There it is.
Is that because the Mexican Air Force used 51s?
How did it get there? We have no idea. But now he took it all apart, overhauled it, put it back together again. But that's an original left hand. Guy called me up and says, well, you know, I said to the guy, I want to buy the parts. No, I'll only sell you a complete engine running. Well, I don't want you to run the engine. No, I'm going to run the engine. That means it'll explode it on the test cell. And I'm going, oh, crap, I got to take the chance. He called me up a month later. Well, when's this check going to come? Ain't going to come. Well, I'll take less for the motor. I don't want it. I have a 0-time one.
So this one is turning
So let's see which one the blades are.
Oh my gosh. And other variants of the 82 were both the same turning. And did that have a pretty
It had, you know, terrible torque to one side with both blades going to the right.
Now Ace is like
This has no torque.
Bud Anderson. He flew this particular plane, right?
I can't say he flew this airplane.
Okay.
He might have. We don't know.
And he said it was quote unquote fast, real fast. I mean, he was impressed with its performance, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of
We don't know that he flew. No, this airplane, when it was finished and went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Army Air Corps Base outside of Wright-Patterson, it was a test bed for guns and rockets and stuff like that. It never saw service.
wow.
No, none of the Merlin Power ones ever saw service. They're
Okay.
all stateside. Only the number of Allison Power ones
Yeah.
saw service.
Unbelievable. So this one was right, and that one's
Look right here. See how the bottom of the decal is toward the trailing edge of the blade?
yes.
See right here? The bottom of the decal is toward the leading edge of the blade. That was an error they did in 1944. They put the decals on wrong. I matched it.
How did you figure that out?
There's a picture I had.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's
See, this is the
unreal.
way they're supposed to be. The top goes to the thick part of the blade. Right here, the top is to the thin part of the blade.
And that was an error.
They glued the decals on wrong. Now I matched it.
Yeah.
And at Oshkosh, people, I showed them a picture. This is the original. Oh, wow. All right, come here, climb up here.
Okay.
See all the green paint?
Yeah.
We spectrograph the color, so it's the correct color. You know, all the hardware is #1 CAD plate. See right here? It's all silver.
And if it was the newer version, it'd be gold?
Huh?
If it was the newer version, it would be gold. Like
The original would be #1 cat plate
would be silver.
But today, all you can buy is gold.
Now, I mean, flying this, how does one? I mean, you know, you're obviously on the far left side, whereas a traditional 51, everything's centered.
You land this side.
You land? I mean,
But look in here. Everything is absolutely original. Even have the correct color on the dials, on the instrument, on the arms on the instrument. Everything is original. Absolutely, all the switches are original. You see this radio pack right here?
yeah.
This piece right here. This is an extremely rare piece. There are none that exist anywhere. There are ones that are in certain Mustangs, but very few had Mustangs. You know, we could not find one anywhere. Wheezy, the girl who worked for me for years, Louise, she was with me for all the way through this and other airplanes, you know. She was the best man I had, you know, girl.
Best lady.
Yeah, she's 10 years younger than me. And she found one in England, in a museum in England, right there. We found out who owned it, called them up, and says, "Can we buy it from you?" "No. I'll pay you any amount of money to make the cockpit original." He says, "It's not for sale. Don't call again." "Where are you going to put it?" I said, "It'll go into the XP-82. Long silence. He says, "Tell you what, I'll give it to you for free if you put it in the 82.
And he gave it to you. What? And so let's say the gun sight, was that a one-off?
sorry?
Was the gun sight similar to the 51, or was that a one-off?
No, they're the same.
The same. Okay.
They're different than a 51, but it's a common gun sight.
Okay. So, like, performance-wise, what the top speed of this plane is relative, but
Top speed is 486.
486.
Yeah.
It's altitude. What did one of these reach?
Altitude.
And
Now,
what?
it won't go to altitude with these engines. See, we don't have the huge rock crusher blowers in it any longer.
Okay.
All the rock crusher blowers, we call it, were in the race airplanes. This has a -9 blower in it.
Okay.
So instead of the high, and plus you don't have the fuel.
Yeah.
You can't run the fuel. You know, you melt the motors down with 100 low lead. You can piss more octane than 100 low lead has. You know.
And the relative, you know, on the books, what was the range in this configuration?
I'd have to sit and figure it out. You know, it burns about 200 gallons an hour,
Okay.
and we hold 800 gallons.
800 gallons.
Yeah.
Now
So
you,
with the power way back, we'll cruise at high 200s and burn like 150 a side. So you have a 300. You got 4 to 6 hours of range at the power reduction at 300 miles an hour. See, 1800.
Okay.
1800 miles. We flew it from here to Oshkosh. From Douglas, Georgia, where we built it, to Oshkosh, had lots of gas left over, and filled it up at Oshkosh, and got back here with a couple 100 gallons left.
what was that flight like? I mean, was it?
I've only flown it twice.
And you were in there, that seat right
Yeah,
there to
yeah,
Oshkosh. And
Yeah, I only flew in it twice.
what did it feel like taking off in this comparative to?
Weirdest thing is him talking to me, and I see his mouth moving. I hear it in the headset. Now the right-hand cockpit is the same as the left-hand cockpit. So we have the original oxygen system in it.
Wow. So 2 pilots would fly this on a mission, and one would
One could sleep and one could fly.
one could fly.
One can get shot, and the other one can make it home.
Wow.
The only thing the guy in the right-hand seat can't do, he cannot put the landing gear up. He can do everything else. He put landing gear down, shoot the guns, everything.
but not landing gear up.
But he can't put the landing gear up.
Why? And why is that? Would that change everything up?
I have no idea.
Huh.
That's just the way it was.
So
see the yellow spectrograph color right there.
wow.
Spectrograph color. This is open, so it's a handhold.
Unbelievable. And you're selling this, so this plane is for sale now.
Yeah.
And what are you asking on this plane?
Whatever. I got 11 in it.
But it's the only one that's airworthy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it.
You see the ring, the ADF ring? That's an original World War II ADF ring right there. Automatic direct funder. That's how the Japanese found Pearl Harbor.
Was because
with an ADF. Picked up a radio station in Hawaii playing, fly that way. But that's the original ring. Not the original ring, but one identical. We found it.
Unbelievable. So I guess one of the questions
Are
would be.
you done in here?
I am.
You want more pictures?
No, this is great. Let me help you pull.
Yeah.
Oh.
I need to oil this thing.
Right here.
I need to oil it. God damn.
How about I push on this?
Now.
So I guess another question would be, if somebody did buy this airplane, how does one go about, let's say a P-51 owner was transitioning to this.
Yeah, the guy that's the pilot of this airplane, Ray Fowler, he would give them dual instruction to get them a type rating at it.
So you get a type rating in an XP-82?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there somebody insurance company that would insure this?
I'm sorry?
Is there an insurance company that's willing to insure this for
Oh, yes.
I can't imagine, but that...
We insured it. It was $180,000 to insure it from Douglas to Oshkosh and back to here.
Oh my God. Aviation is not cheap.
See, all the Zeus's are the correct color. All the screws are the correct color.
Wow.
All these parts are made with the English wheel.
All these?
Any parts that was curved was made with an English wheel.
Wow.
Now here's the best part. Get inside that wheel well and look up. Look at all the monkey motion that goes on in there.
What in the... It seems complicated.
Huh?
That seems complicated.
Yeah. The right-hand gear is the same.
How similar is this to a P-51 gear system?
Completely different.
Completely different.
Nothing's the same.
Wow. Well,
We kept the machine shop busy for 10 years.
and is that how long it took you to build this? 10 years?
Yeah. 8 years, I guess. 8 years. This is the hook for the centerline drop tank, or the gun pod, right here.
Wow. So they would actually connect.
Yeah. That's the hook, right there.
All right, so if you're interested in buying an XP-82, Tom is the man to speak with. And what are you replacing this with once this sells? You're restoring a B-17? Yeah, once the XP-82 sells,
Well, I've got a D model Mustang to build, which is simple compared to this. And, I got a B-17 to finish.
B-17 to
Other
finish.
than that, I got nothing. And I got 10 years left on the B-17, and I got 3 or 4 years on the Mustang.
Wow. This is great. Well,
We even duplicated this, which is the filtered air intake. instead of just a flat plate, we duplicated it exactly. We duplicated everything, you know, made it as original as possible.
So if somebody buys this, do they blueprints? If somebody purchases this plane of a dual instruction, what about the blueprints? Like what did the plans go with that?
They get all the plans, I got a whole package full of, you know, spare parts, generator, starter, magnetos, hydraulic pump, fuel pump. I got all kinds of spare. I got the jacks that jack the airplane up. I got spare tires, spare wheels.
Okay.
I don't have spare engine parts.
Okay.
Other than magneto stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're easily available.
This is great. Thank you so much, Tom. You've done an incredible job of building the most unique.
It's my life. It's my life.
You've done very good at it.
I was hoping it would be sold, but it didn't.
Well, maybe somebody sees this, they might buy it.